Hi, my name is Rod Larson, and I'm doing my persuasion speech on a very, not necessarily a hot topic, but a topic that's been in the news for quite a while now for the last few years, and that is our voter ID laws. With all of our elections coming up, presidential election right around the corner, here in the state of Wisconsin, I voted 8 times this past year due to the local the local races, our recall races for the governor. Governor was voted in the prior year, so quite often I have to go to the polling places to cast my vote. And a lot of states have been passing these voter ID laws where it's asking you to prove who you are with either a driver's license, a government free ID card that will let you vote in the election as long as you can prove who you are with a photo ID. And my point is that we need to have these voter IDs in place so there is no fraud going on with our elections. Some people say there isn't, many people say there are. Many people approve of these voter ID laws. However, our voter ID laws are being challenged in court by one individual, by a judge, not by a jury or anything like that. Or could we vote on this as a referendum, as citizens in a particular state? But we don't have that option. We elect our government officials to pass laws that we are in favor of, and not to have then one judge just dismiss that law. So voter ID, presenting a photo identification of who you are, stating exactly who you are, what that is going to do, it's going to prevent our fraud. If I vote for candidate A and somebody illegally votes for candidate B, my vote is completely gone. It can't be returned because it is canceled out by somebody who fraudulently voted. That fraudulent vote happens more often than what we hear. And the reason behind that is because it costs a lot of money and a lot of research to go after individuals after the crime has been committed. That's not going to change an aspect. It's not going to change an election or recount the vote or anything like that. So getting rid of fraud is going to boost the confidence of citizens when they go in to vote. And then asking individuals to get proper identification is not that difficult. We need to pass some responsibility onto our citizens that if you want to vote, you need to have proper identification. In a Quinnipiac poll in July, they polled registered voters. Do you believe in voter ID laws, and so on and so forth? In a 2-to-1 margin, American citizens believe in a voter ID law, that we need to prove who we are. We have to prove who we are when we go to the liquor store, buy some beer. It is my right as an American citizen to drink alcohol. I rarely do, but it is my right. And I need to prove who I am, that I'm of a certain age, that I'm eligible to be purchasing beer. Also, if I get a cashier's check, a payroll check from my employer, I need to get a check, or I need to have a photo ID in order to cash my payroll check. If I rent an apartment, I need a photo ID. I have a couple properties that I rent out to. I require my prospective leasers to present a photo ID so I know exactly who I'm renting these to. Also, according to a couple websites that I did find, a couple government websites, nyc.gov and the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicle website, gave me a list of information on what I need IDs for. And some of those are pretty common. One of those, Medicare and Medicaid benefits. Want to drive a car, you need your driver's license. To open up a utilities account. So if I move to a new residence, I need my photo ID for that. If I want to vote in a union, I want to vote for new union leadership or whatever the situation arises, I need I need an ID card. To get Social Security services, I need an ID. I want to rent out a book at the library. I want to apply for welfare. I want to apply for food stamps. I need a photo ID. Not asking much information to have somebody get a voter or a photo ID so they can then vote. We need a photo ID for many things that we ask for from the government in our daily lives. Why is asking for a photo ID much different? So giving the responsibility to a citizen to show who they are, that they are eligible to vote, is not asking anything, not disenfranchising any voters. We have driver's license that you use to drive your car with, but we also give out free ID cards at the Department of Motor Vehicles. Also, here in the state of Wisconsin, we passed a voter ID law. Part of that voter ID law was that for the next year, that all of our government agencies would be handing out free ID cards at all of the different agencies, not just at the Department of Motor Vehicles. We were going to do this for 1 year, so everybody who doesn't have a photo ID can go and get one for free. However, one judge ruled that down. That is now going through appeals. Give some responsibility to the citizens. Can't make this any more easier for people to go out and get a form of photo ID to vote in our elections for the people that we want to represent us. Thank you very much.